friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots.
We are not in this for the money,
Oh,
obviously.
you're in it for the fame.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you are.
You want to be famous. You just want to get recognized.
Know my face, you know
Or
what I mean?
Chad's word, infamy. I'm in it for infamy, but I don't know what the word means.
Yeah, now I know that just means I'm going to murder someone and then be famous for it.
Today's episode is outside of our normal format. We did a recording at our 100th episode party, and in this recording, I was the interviewee. My event co-host, the Funky Panther, ran the show and put me in the hot seat for a change. And I was absolutely the worst guest we have ever had on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and I need to formally apologize to Chad Funky for being that bad. I was distracted by every shiny object at the event, and any kind of format that they wanted to follow, I ruined it. And I'm warning you because as soon as we start this episode, you're going to pick up on that immediately. Chad, I'm so sorry. And for those of you that missed it or didn't hear about what we were doing, we had our 100th episode party out at Pouring Glory. This is probably the last time you're going to hear about it. I've been talking about it nonstop since September 10th. Whenever we had the event, it was a great success. A lot of you came out and supported us, and I cannot thank you enough. And a shout out to all those wonderful podcasters that helped us promote this event and make it possible. It's probably you, the Funky Panther podcast, the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, the Failed podcast, Fort Worth Roots, of course, that's us, Emo Otaku podcast, Forever Reckless, Funky Town podcast, Thanks for the Invite podcast, Osos Colosos, and Fort Worth Famous. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this event. And just know that Fort Worth Roots supports you. And whenever y'all are ready to do something cool, just let us know. We're there to support you. We pack a ton of information at the tail end of these episodes after the recording, including our events that are coming up and more information about our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk. You can find information about them at roofingsolutionshouk, that's HOUK.com. Or you can call them at 817-882-6520. And just by mentioning the podcast, Fort Worth Roots, they will give you 50% off on a roof tune-up. Just tell them that you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, 817-882-6520. And again, there's more information. We have more wonderful sponsors and tell you all about that at the end of the episode. Last thing I want to tell you about before we get the episode started, and I swear I'll shut up. Paraphrasing from the editor of the Fort Worth Weekly's most recent publication, starting in 1995, ours is the oldest, most esteemed best of in Tarrant County. Our pale in more ways than one imitators can suck it. Everyone knows that a weekly best of just means more because it's coming from a place of journalistic research, not from a bean counter saying we need to award only the businesses that bought the biggest ads. That is from editor Anthony Mariani of the Fort Worth Weekly. And this week's publication, if you flip it over to page 34 under podcast, you will find two entries. The first entry, and in my opinion, the most important one, this was voted on, okay? This is the Reader's Choice for podcast. And if you are listening to this, then you're probably into the local scene and you already know that the Jerry Jonestown Massacre won Reader's Choice. This is the 6th time that they have won this award, and they deserve it so much. They've been around for 9 years. It's an excellent podcast. And if you have not gone and checked out the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, you can find it on all the streaming services. Just look for the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. There's no other podcast out there with a name even close to that, so you'll have no trouble finding this. I've gotten to record with these guys twice now, and I love hanging with them. They're just a blast to be around, good dudes, and very knowledgeable on multiple topics and things, especially how to drink whiskey. So a big shout out to Mr. Schneider and Mr. Stubbs. Congratulations on winning the Reader's Choice for the Fort Worth's Best of 2022. And then as a side note, you got the Critics' Choice. They're on page 34 underneath podcast, underneath the Reader's Choice, underneath the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, you will find in very small print the Critics' Choice Award. We got to give a big shout out to Juan Govea, who called and asked me questions before this got released. But the Critics' Choice went to Fort Worth Roots. And I'll read you the little snippet here, and I believe it doesn't have his name next to it, but I think this is Johnny Govea writing this. On this 2-year-old podcast, host Andrew Turner focuses on Fort Worth creators, especially musicians, and with every guest, he tries to show the interviewees in a positive, authentic way. He asks well-researched questions, well, I don't know about that, and keeps the conversation light and engaging. Plus, he has a great radio voice. Fort Worth Roots airs on YouTube every Monday or anytime at fortworthroots.com. Little housekeeping with that last part. Yes, it does release on YouTube, but it also releases on every one of those streaming services that you like to listen to. I try to make sure that these are ready for you on your Monday morning drive, and we've got a pretty damn good track record. A couple episodes ago, I had a late release that occurred about 12 hours later than it usually does. 99 times out of 100, you're going to get those episodes ready for your drive to work every Monday morning. Big shout out to Fort Worth Weekly. Thank you for including our humble little podcast in the best of 2022. Whenever I became aware that this was even a thing, I was pulling hard for my homies. We have an incredible community of podcasters here in the Fort Worth area, and it'd be pretty crazy for me to say I think I'm the best. So naturally, I just wanted to support everybody else. I had no idea that this was even an option, that Fort Worth Roots would have a snowball's chance in hell of pulling down, but we got it, and it's not the one that was voted on. This is not the people's choice. That goes to Jerry Jonestown Massacre, but we were just as excited that the Fort Worth Weekly and Johnny Govea decided that we deserved Critics' Choice for 2022. So thank you again, Fort Worth Weekly. Thank you again, Johnny Govea. I can't tell you how excited we are to be included in this publication. So thank you. Just to reiterate, before we get the show started, this was I think the first time we've done this where I'm the guest on my own show. I mentioned earlier that I was the worst guest we've ever had on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and here in just a minute, you're going to see why. But since I'm not the host of this show, I just want you to keep that in mind. And if you have any complaints, or if you need information on the host of this episode, the Funky Panther, so that you can formally report them to the authorities, go to thefunkypanther.com, and you will have all their information in there. Do not email me with complaints this time, because it's all about them interviewing me. I had no control over this. I can't tell you how proud I am to have the Funky Panther there at my 100th episode. It was a huge honor. These guys are the best, and we're going to keep doing cool stuff. At the very end of this recording, I asked them, can we keep doing stuff like this? And they said yes. So I got them on the hook. I got them on a recording saying that we can. So let's do more cool stuff. All right, that's enough talking out of me. I'm not going to hit the intro music because you'd have to hear it twice. So let's just fade into this. Thank y'all for being here, and let's start the show. Yeah, we should just put Tim on the extrovert.
It's a good thing that Javier's not here, because he would really eat into that.
Yeah,
he'd eat into something.
Oh my God! All right, here we go. Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. We're recording kind of live today from the 100th episode party at Pouring Glory, September 10th. I'm here with my co-host, Tim and Chad Funky of the Funky Panther.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having us. This is fantastic.
Well, turnabout's fair play, and a million other ways with cliche sayings. You guys invited me out for your 100th episode, and by God, you were going to be here for mine.
And so glad to be here, man. This is a hell of an event. It hadn't even started yet, and I'm like, I can't even imagine what this is going to be like in a couple hours.
I was telling Chad that you clearly put a lot of effort into your 100th episode event. We put zero effort. We bought cups.
We did get cups.
We did get cups for ours, and we just showed up to party.
Panther Island Brewing was, really good to us, though.
And they're here today.
Yeah, they were fantastic for us, and it was more of a party. Yours is a full-on event. You know what I mean? Ours was just like, let's drink and have a good time.
Yeah, no, y'all's event was great, and it showed me that I can do better.
Yeah, and you're clearly doing better.
I just said that to be a pretentious prick.
Bro, you had some of this planned before we even had ours planned months ago. You've been putting work into this for months.
We got Grandpappy here standing and looking at us.
I got
judging
Dustin
us.
Snyder from the Jerry Jonestown Massacre is here. I got a microphone for you right here. Pick it up. Don't be scared.
You can hop on with us.
I just turned you on.
Ooh, he turned him on.
Can I walk around and go place to place? How long is this cord?
6 foot, dude. Don't go far. We'll lose the whole table.
You can go right there.
My whole operation is hinging on the fact that I trust you.
So you had Andrew on your show this week, and we didn't bust down the door.
Absolutely. You didn't. We actually had a show this week. I actually got to talk to him.
And the doors were locked. The gates were locked.
I'm gonna tell you,
sure you couldn't get in.
That made me happy to hear that. I was listening to your show. I'm like, and you say all that stuff. I'm like, you know what? We made an impression.
It doesn't matter if it was bad or good. It was an impression.
Bad, whatever.
You know what I mean?
We made the impression.
I'm kind of blown away by y'all's Garth Brooks setup y'all got on.
Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
It is.
Are you mad at
what
me?
It is.
You just show up and start firing off
Or
insults.
Madonna?
Oh my God! Look at
Those
this.
are
man.
awesome.
Actually, I'll take
I'm
Madonna.
jealous.
I'll
They're
take
pretty
Madonna.
legit. I mean, I'm pretty.
Pretty legit.
The sound's great too. You wouldn't assume the sound would be good. It's pretty good.
I think we start giving all our guests these.
Yeah.
That way they stay with their microphone at their mouth.
That's actually
the
fact.
whole point, man.
Yeah.
It's a big problem.
That's
actually.
a good idea.
But I noticed,
I
like
like
with
that.
your show on the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, it's not really an issue, and I don't know why there's such.
It's because they're just out there BSing. You know what I mean? They're just having a good time BSing.
Your setup works though, and
Lots of compressors on that wall of crap I have behind me.
right, yeah. Well, and this was my quick fix for that because I could not get the guests to do what you're doing. You know better because you're, heavily involved in this kind of stuff as he eats the mic.
You don't like people talking to you like that?
Yeah, no. And he doesn't even have a headset on, but
No.
It's pretty nice getting out of the truck and just hearing y'all's lovely voices.
Oh, how sweet. What a sweet.
Could you hear it on the speaker?
Yeah, they're on the street.
Nice.
Very good.
Little $50 setup. Yeah. Cool.
I'm here for it.
Well, I'm going to set this down. I'm going to look around.
I mean, I think it's a
So I
little bit
just
more than
walked in.
$50 setup, though.
And then I'll come
Yeah,
harass y'all
maybe
some more.
Can't
Cool.
wait.
Dustin, thank you,
Cannot
buddy.
wait.
Hey, did you bring your big generator, though?
Oh, yeah, it's here.
All right, good.
Are you going to need it, though?
Just in case.
Hey, Dustin. I'm indicating for him to look at the giant surprise that I haven't told anybody about. Chad
Are
tried
we
to
gonna be able
ruin
to talk
it.
about? Are we going to talk? You bleeped me whenever I tried to talk about it.
Oh, here you go.
Are you allowed to talk about it yet?
We're not allowed to talk about it yet.
What?
I don't
Okay.
think. Should we?
Well,
Should this,
No,
should this be the moment?
You're talking about the giraffe you bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, little known
Another
fact.
one?
Andrew bought a giraffe. He loves safari animals. He wants a giraffe. He's going to ride it around here in a little bit. It's going to be really cool.
Do you call two giraffes
But we
still
get a tour,
giraffes?
right?
Yeah, it's not much of a tour right now, but yeah. In fact, you can go out there and check it yourself, but watch your step.
I want a guided tour with you alone.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
All
Shut
I would
the
say
door,
is
check it out.
don't eat the candy.
Hey, I've
from
got
inside
I've got
the van.
I've got Delta 8 samples, and I got to keep them under control, so they're sitting right here. Would you like one?
At least 7.
Susie, how are you?
I walked up with the Delta 8 sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stepped away, and then as soon as she heard the Delta 8 situation.
Yeah, I've been
she was
told,
here for
folks,
it.
that you need to be careful with the. I'm sorry, it's Delta 9, not Delta 8.
Oh yeah. Oh
I've,
yeah. it's a
I've
good
never
kid.
had them. I don't know anything about it, but I've been told that.
5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
No, there's no crack here, sir. This is a legitimate. Okay, so in Texas, there's a farm bill, and if the product is under a certain THC level, and I'm talking out of my ass, I don't know this. If it's underneath, yeah. Okay, so Scott's yelling at me under 0.03. You can have it, and it can be legal, and you can sell it in your store. So
Right.
we've
but
got some samples.
I mean, I'll take
today.
one.
depending
Yeah.
on the deltas as well. Like I think that you can have different varieties and stuff as long as it's not straight up THC situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to give any legal advice. I'll give medical advice. I'm your medical correspondent.
Should you even go that far, though?
Yeah, I
No,
shouldn't.
No,
but-
you shouldn't be
Well,
giving advice.
Just know
generally.
that on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, we do not give out medical advice. Anything Tim says is on Tim's ass.
What are you doing, Dustin?
Y'all can Dutch rudder with those mics.
Oh yeah.
We
yeah.
can.
And we probably will. It's still early in the show.
So
Our hands
do
are
what
free.
Did y'all check out the podcast awards?
They're so great.
Isn't that cool? That was Houk Walker Originals. That's one of the sponsors of the show, and they were nice enough to laser some of those for us, and I think they look pretty fresh.
They look fantastic.
Yeah. Kind of overdid it, didn't I? I went over the top. I jumped the shark, man. I know. I have a problem.
It's
Yeah.
a huge ass event. is
Oh,
what it is.
Darren just walked up. What's up, Darren?
It's like a party, man.
It's a party now. You're here.
This is amazing.
All right. So just to shut you up for a second.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into the actual episode since we are recording.
Andrew,
yeah.
you kicked us off, and we are here for your 100th episode.
But we're going to take over.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
All
going
right.
to completely take over. This is now the
Shutting
Funky
down.
Panther show. You know what I mean? No, I mean we need to hear you, but
Coming back onto.
it is now the Funky Panther show. You know what I mean? So you don't have the cued music for the Funky Panther, but just pretend like it's there.
I'll put it in there.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
I'm Chad,
And I'm Tim.
and we are
The Funky Panther.
Look, hey, all the
And the
people
crowd
showed up immediately.
goes wild.
Wow,
In the clinch, dude. I didn't have that set.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You really did a great
No,
job.
They were literally cheering for us.
Right? Yeah, out here.
It was
at the
not a
event.
sound. That was not a sound bite that he had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So here we are at your 100th episode event, right? Huge deal. You've got vendors, you've got musicians setting up, you've got beer, you've got food here at Pouring Glory. Like, this is a whole deal, man. You've done a phenomenal job putting this together. Congratulations. Cheers to you.
Cheers,
I mean,
guys.
we're all drinking a little beer. Let's cheers up. You know what I mean?
Now, I do have to tell you, and this is 100% not even me trying to be the sincere, humble guy.
Here we go.
Other people did all the work. Like, the most I had to do is what you're looking at right here, the little Fort Worth Roots podcast area.
Oh, look who's walking
Yeah.
up now.
Oh my God, it's Javi.
But you did put it together. You connected people. You made this all happen, and that's a big deal. Whether you
Pull up a chair.
worked
kidding.
your ass off or not, you made this happen.
Javier,
appreciate
there's
it,
a
man.
chair
I
right
appreciate
here.
it.
Oh, really?
There's-
Yeah, put that back.
So if you do listen to Funky Panther, generally we have 3 co-hosts. We've got Tim and myself, Chad, and then we usually have the worst one, Javier, and he just now showed up. So he's going to be joining us here. He missed the intro.
I like front hugs.
He's given Andrew the sweetest little hug. Just for those that are listening in.
You thought your episode was a mess for your 100th, right?
No, I loved it. And I'm here for this one, too. What are you talking about?
This one's clunky as shit, but it's perfect.
You've made comments, though, that you want more
BS.
That's true.
Yes.
I was on the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. I mean, it is an
have
absolute
it on
sincere
record.
compliment.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Javi over 2, and I'm going to set up 1.
Sounds good. So, yeah.
You're making a lot of noise there.
Oh, sorry. This is my first rodeo. Hey, boys.
What's up, Javier?
Hi. Sorry I'm so
Welcome.
late. Sorry, just, work.
I feel like, we
Work
already
and
did the
such.
intro, like literally a minute before you got here.
I'm
but-
Javier.
Nope. That's it.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
it.
done.
That's it right there?
Yep, we already did it. You missed it.
And actually, we're
wanna
done
do
with
it
the
again?
show now. We
Oh,
are.
okay.
No.
Glad you joined here at the very end of the Fort Worth Roots, the Funky Panther collaboration.
Me, right?
We don't want to do it again, right?
Okay,
There
so
it
you
is,
just got
Javi,
here,
right off the
but
bat.
Let's try to not cuss.
Oh, okay, sorry.
This is not
Family's
our
here.
show.
Whoops.
This is the Fort Worth Roots show.
Whoopsie
It's a family
doopsie.
event. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, Andrew, you had the opportunity to interview us on our show for our 100th episode back in July over at Panther Island Brewing, which we really appreciate. You did a phenomenal job, per usual, like we knew you would, right? And so now you've got to let us have the opportunity to interview you, right?
Hell yeah.
Which I'm pretty stoked about because I have listened to a ton of your episodes. Not all of them. I mean, you've got 100. Let's be real. I've listened to a ton of them. And if I didn't know you specifically now, because we've become pretty good friends over the past few months, I don't know if I would know you. You know what I mean? And so I want to make sure all your people out there know everything about Andrew. Like
dude.
from top to bottom.
Oh, no.
Everything there is to know about Andrew. They need to know.
So
right?
we did a deep dive, and
Oh, no.
we got in contact with your 3rd grade teacher. No.
Perfect.
Yeah, she had a lot to say. You know what I mean?
She's dead now, I'm sure.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, wow.
Tell
That's a
us about
concern.
the time that.
That's a concern.
So we know about ghosts, right? And we know how to summon them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we did a seance. It was
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
So, typically in our episode, we jump into what we like to call as the Funky 5. So 5
Okay.
rapid fire questions. And you know how that goes, right? So if I tell you
I've heard it.
if I ask you what's your favorite color,
I just have to shout out blue.
okay, blue. Blue's your favorite color.
Done.
Then you got it. Okay.
So quick.
So we're going to go through a few things, and you can be as biased as you want, or you can actually, give other people their flowers. Is that the term
that's-
flowers?
You,
Okay.
you just did that this week on our episode.
Just wanna make sure.
Yeah. We said yes, that's the correct
Okay.
terminology.
So we're going to start off with what is your favorite Fort Worth restaurant?
So y'all have heard it. If you've been around me for more than 10 minutes, you know it's the Tim Love's Lonesome Dove.
Oh,
It's it's so prohibitively expensive, but it's so good, man. And if you want quality meat, like
Yeah.
steak and whatever, it's they've always got something crazy there. Like kangaroo sliders, I think has been on the menu forever. But it's delicacies that you can't get anywhere else.
Exotic
now,
meats.
Now, if you're talking about my favorite burger place, and I know this isn't probably allowed with your favorite top 5 or whatever, but
Oh, go for it.
Pouring Glory has some of the best
Yeah.
hamburgers and food otherwise, and it's a crime that I've talked to people like, oh yeah, the 100th episode is going to be at Pouring Glory, and I can't tell you how many times I had to, okay, this is where it's at. People don't know.
Yeah.
And it's off of Main Street, just a block off the main drag.
Well, it's kind of
So-
weird because this was like the OG. Like this has been around for Pouring Glory's been around for a minute.
That
You know what I
building,
mean? Well
has
before
some
South
history.
Main became
Yeah.
what it is now. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of sad to see some of that kind of being pulled north. But like, yeah, it's a phenomenal place. Good food, good beer. Today, $3 beers. You made something happen over here. I mean, whoop. Be a little drinking.
Yeah.
Be a little drinking.
well, I do know that we've come here before, like about 7 years ago, probably, just to try out. They had an eclectic selection of beers.
They
Yeah.
still do,
You
and
know.
they still do.
Yeah, they do. And a lot of the times before Taps and Caps, was a thing, they had stuff here that we couldn't find anywhere else.
Right.
So
And Tim, what are we drinking right now? What'd you get us?
This is we're drinking the Big German, which is Roll Town Beer Works out of Salina, Texas.
Okay.
Ben and Skin's own personal brewery. If you know who the Ben and Skin show is, they were
Yeah.
on 105.3 The Fan, and now they're on 97.1 The Eagle. So
Or the show.
I only podcast. I don't
Okay,
know
that's all you
anything-
do.
I don't know anything about
I only
radio.
listen to podcasts.
know.
You see all these awards up here? There are 10 podcasts that I listen to. I try to hit them every week, and I don't have time for radio.
Yeah, no, I
I
hear
just
you.
get you. I understand. Okay, so moving on, and this might be the same answer. I don't know. What's your favorite Fort Worth drinking spot?
My third grade teacher's house.
Okay.
Favorite drinking spot. Let's see. Lately, setting up this event, it's been pouring glory.
Yeah.
Man, so there used to be a lot of really awesome spots on 7th, just off the 7th Street area. That whole little conglomerate.
Yeah.
I don't like going down there so much anymore. Main Street has a lot more to offer these days, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out which one's going to be the spot. Went into Nickel City the other day, had a heart attack when I saw how much I paid for my 1 ounce pour. But
what did
nice
you get?
vibes.
You got
nice
something
vibes.
fancy though.
Buffalo
didn't you?
Trace, right? You said
Not that fancy.
I
Buffalo
mean,
Trace.
it is
fancier
hard to
than-
get though.
Yeah,
It is hard to get.
They've got
now.
like the highball on tap. I think it's only like $7 or $8. They've got the frozen Irish coffees. They're like the same, I think.
Yellow bellies are always a good choice. Yeah.
I can see Chad's blood pressure going up. He loves Nickel City.
I love it.
We're gonna have a fight
I'm
here in a
defend it
minute.
until I die.
Yeah, so Travis, owner of Nickel City, he told us he wants people to be able to go there and have, be able to get whatever they want, high-end whiskey if you want that, or if you're in the service industry, to be able to spend $10 and get a few shots and a couple of beers.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of been able to accomplish that. So you just got to know what you got to know what to pick.
Have you seen the lunchbox on the menu? Have you seen that?
I ate there the time that you took me
It's
there
not
with all the
food.
cool people.
It's not food.
Oh.
So they've got this thing. It's called a lunchbox, and it's like this little metal old school lunchbox, right? And they pull it out, and it's got like 5 shots of whiskey, 5 mini Miller High Lifes, right? Champagne beer, and I don't know, it's like $20 or something like that.
$25.
Yeah, but it's basically $5 a person for a beer and a shot.
Dang, that's excellent.
Yeah, pretty
And
good deal.
also-
So they've got the deals. You just got to know which ones to find. You know what I
Also,
mean?
they have the bottle of champagne that's always $69, right?
Which Javier loves, but it's never purchased.
Yeah, we need to. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's a good. It would have been a good way to celebrate, but here we're celebrating here.
So I don't think you answered.
Oh.
Favorite drinking spot?
You said pouring glory.
Right now, it's going to have to be
Pouring Glory? Okay, cool.
All right, so moving on, and this might be a hard one to answer because, what you got going on today? Your favorite local musician?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, shots might be fired on this one.
Why did you have to do that? Well, just recently I put together a playlist on Amplify 817, and it's the best playlist on Amplify 817. There's nobody out there that has put together a better
mediocre
playlist.
at best?
Yeah, I would say mediocre. Top.
I went a different direction. Everybody else
You
was
did.
trying to be the cool kid in class, and
Yeah.
I did Tailgate Love Story.
I saw
Yes,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that. I was like, well, that's a turn. I like it.
I was trying to do something that nobody else would probably do, and I haven't seen anything like that pop up yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so on that playlist, all the best musicians in town. Of course, Late to the Station's on there. Joe Savage is on there. And of course, also I should mention that I was only able to pull songs off of the Amplify 817 library.
right.
Amplify
Yeah.
817 artists specifically
Right,
on
right.
amplify817.org. But yeah,
Joe
a lot
Savage
of local.
made the cut, and something that I got to bring up next time I see Sean with Cutthroat Finches is he was on the list, but I had 17 entries, and I 2 of them got cut, and I didn't get to pick. They cut them.
Okay.
So I got to say right now, the person that I've been talking the most about is Avery Burke. She put on such an incredible performance out of 817 Day.
Yeah.
Is that what they ended up
Yeah.
calling it?
No.
The Amplify 817 showcase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Avery Burke, and I'm supposed to sit down with her next Tuesday at the Post. And by the way, the Post is a great place to grab a drink too. That's
Yeah.
a really cool spot.
She's
the
there.
boys
She's
know.
there weekly, right?
She's
Like,
got
I
a
think
residency over
yeah.
there.
Correct. So I'll be there with her Tuesday, and I hope that works out because I've been focused on this event, and I really should have coordinated with the Post, but we'll see how that turns out.
All right. So you can be as biased as you want, or you just better say what we all think you should say.
Don't.
What's your favorite podcast?
The Funky Panther is the best podcast in North Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the last day that you can vote for the Funky Panther Best of 2022 for the Fort Worth Weekly. I need you all to pull out your phones right now.
I swear we didn't pay for that.
Why isn't that one?
What? You're just trying to make noises. Hey,
Hey, over
listen to
here. Lucas.
I swear we didn't pay him to do this.
You got to pull out
you
your
can't do
phones,
that.
and you need to
can't
go
pay
to
people.
Fort Worth Weekly's Best of and vote for the Funky Panther as
Oh,
the
man.
best
All
podcast.
right, you're making this awkward. You know what I mean?
sorry.
We appreciate you.
All right,
I've been saying it
So
for a long
hard.
time.
But for
it's
real,
true.
though,
For
like,
Fort Worth Roots.
and it doesn't have to be a local podcast. It could be anything.
Nice effort.
Hey, no, just
Was it though?
I tell these guys, pick
Do both.
one or the other. Just don't vote for TFTI. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I love those guys.
No. But for real though, what is your favorite podcast right
So
now?
you guys are just gonna keep winding me up. Y'all are my favorite podcast
Aw.
here in the area.
That's very sweet.
I want to know why.
Yeah.
If that's true, I want to know the why. Give me the why.
That's easy. Y'all curate a show that is more than just people sitting around talking shit. Y'all have segments to your show. You've thought it through. You have a great format, and the personalities, Chad, Tim, and Javier. Sorry, it took me a second. You guys are great together, man. You guys are so good together.
Don't worry, we forget his name too.
yeah, me too.
But you know, not
Just don't call him
without.
Poncho.
I'm not
'cause
talking.
he gets upset.
Yes.
The way that we met at Arts Goggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I've been a fan of you guys since I found you.
Oh, we appreciate
and,
that.
Y'all are the best. So
We appreciate
shut up
that.
and just take it.
Man, okay.
All right.
Things you don't want to hear at night. I've been watching a lot of SVU, so you got to
So-
disguise your voice a little.
All right, so I'm going to paint the picture now.
Okay, let's paint it.
You're of an age that you remember where you had to flip through channels
You
on
know
TV.
what, dude? Yeah, I can still hear it. Claire,
Yeah.
Claire. You know,
And then
the
you
loud.
find that one.
Okay, so you didn't have a remote. You're talking about the actual
I was
clicking.
the remote.
I was the remote.
What I'm getting at is you're flipping through the channels at home. It's Saturday night. You don't have anywhere to go the next day. You're up late. You're flipping through the channels. You find that one movie. It doesn't matter where it's at in the movie. You're going to stop and you're going to watch it. What movie is that?
There's a few, but the first one that comes up is Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
I can watch it over and over and over.
You got your
and-
multipass on you?
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Multipass.
Anyway, we're in love.
That is a great movie. Yeah.
And that one hadn't come up on our show. We've got a lot of
Oh,
answers for
really?
this one. Yeah,
God,
and that's the
man.
first.
I want to say maybe once.
Y'all are interviewing
maybe
children
once.
then.
Yeah. Yes.
Anybody my age is going to tell you.
What is it? Those the little the rock with the I can't remember what those are called, the squiggly lines and stuff. If she doesn't know what this is and she's too young.
Right, yeah. So Cody Halford's out there, and he'd probably agree with me. Fifth Element is one of the all-time greatest films ever made.
Nah, yeah, there it is.
Kate
There it
Greathouse is here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Kate Greathouse sitting over there. Our comedian. Thank you so much for being here. This is turning. Oh, Itchy got his pretty shirt on.
Yeah,
See
and
that?
the
I
pants,
love
look at
that
those
shirt.
pants.
Oh my god.
Look at those pants.
Woo.
Hey,
He's wearing
Itchy
the
Richie.
Docs also.
Stay out of the sun because oh man, they're
Oh, no.
blinded.
You-
blinded.
Oh, man.
You
Blinded.
just turned into a Twilight vampire.
Future's so bright he needs to wear shades. I love
It's
it.
excellent.
I love it.
I can see your.
He was curious. You know what I mean? Like, can you blame him?
I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing I look at.
I'm just saying, man, it's hot out here. Don't wear underwear that tight.
All right, Andrew. All right, I want to rein this back in now.
Oh, sorry.
So
What's in this beer?
Hey.
Oh, did you slip me a Delta 9?
you did it. You got through the Funky Five.
Okay.
Is it? He said he had a couple.
I have a whole box, but you weren't here when I was passing them out. Javi.
It's too late for you now.
But no, wait a minute. We're supposed to find him with the mostly nude in the wrong bathroom at 417.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right. So he needs to start
He
drinking
needs-
up.
It's gonna be like what happened at Tulips, but with me by myself,
Well, and he needs.
Not in the tub.
holding myself.
They don't have a
Tim.
bathtub, so you're gonna find some
gonna
random
find a bucket.
That's gonna get weird.
There's a dumpster here, right? I'll just
And so who provided these Delta 9
That's from
gummies?
Thrive Apothecary.
Oh, I
and
love that place.
So I'm really excited about the upcoming legalization for either the Fed or the state or
Right.
whatever. It's happening. It's
Oh,
just
for
it's
sure.
a slow process. And so I reached out to Thrive to kind of get involved with them. I also reached out to one of their competitors because I wanted options.
Right. Absolutely.
Thrive
Smart man.
was the one that got back to me first, and they were more than happy to help us out and get everything rolling so that they could be involved with this event.
It's Dr. Lisa, right, and her husband that run, I think, Thrive. I believe that's
Hey,
correct.
Bonnie,
Yeah.
if you will find Mickey Wendell will show you where to set up. Thank y'all for being here. Let's see. I know, I'm looking.
hey, Mickey. Hey.
Does anybody know where Mickey Wendell is?
Mickey,
Mickey Wendell.
On the tent.
Tanya Houk, Mark Noble. That thing's not turned up. I can fix this. Does anybody know where Mickey Wendell is? There she is.
Cinnamon to the
Hello,
stage.
Mickey
Cinnamon.
Wendell. These are our friends from Body Machine Fitness, and they are looking for their spot.
Cinnamon to the main stage.
Okay, going back down.
All right, yes.
Going
All
back-
right,
Yes,
so
let's get back
you
in.
made it through the Funky Five. Congratulations.
There's Tanya Houk, everybody. Hi, Tanya. Thank you for being here.
Hey.
Mark
Okay,
Nobles.
Andrew,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back on track.
here.
Back on track.
Back here.
Okay, here we
Look
go.
straight at us. No more that way. Just here.
Look
It's
at
a
them.
live
Now look at
event.
me.
Look at us.
Okay,
All right, so
Look deeply into my eye.
now we've done the Funky Five. Congratulations. You made it through in record time. That was phenomenal. But now we still need to get to know you a little bit more. Like, I want to hear the backstory. I want to hear, like, I mean, do your listeners don't even know? Like,
No.
where are you from? What do you do? Like, anything that you're willing to say. I want to know more about
Well,
Andrew.
I think the avid listeners have probably picked up. There's been little tidbits. I've been dropping Easter eggs throughout the episodes, but
Yeah.
I really did want to make sure that Fort Worth Roots was absolutely, positively not about Andrew Turner because,
But this episode is about Andrew
though.
Turner.
We're interviewing Andrew Turner of the Fort Worth Roots.
We're
so-
celebrating your 100.
I hear you're changing your podcast name to the Andrew Turner Show.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There's gonna be like some catchy little
me,
1960s. Yeah,
You have a new voice.
yeah.
Can I just say that's actually a perfect name for like a show, though? The Andrew Turner Show.
Yeah,
It
that,
just-
that
it just-
sounds like it could take off.
Yeah, it could.
Or the Andrew Turner Experience.
Hey, I'm here for that one.
You know what? I see what you did there.
Yeah, I like it.
Everybody that knows podcasts saw what you did there.
All right, so tell us a little about you. Like, where you're from?
Yeah,
Are you originally from
let's
Fort Worth?
start.
Did
Where are
get
you
here?
from?
Like,
Well, like most weirdos, I've got a very illustrious past with lots of locations and places. We started off in Ozona, Texas, as a young sprite, a little kid.
okay,
Is that the right word?
that works.
yeah, that works.
that'll
Looking
do.
at Javi, he's always got the good words.
Young twin. No, that ain't the
Oh,
word. Nope.
whoa,
No,
whoa.
Young
Twin?
squire. Young
Yeah,
squire.
twin.
Young squire.
Okay.
And then my family moved to Midland, Texas.
Ooh.
And we spent some time there. I moved to Abilene. I was in Abilene for a couple years and then moved out here to Arlington. I went to Lamar
Okay, yeah.
Lamar.
for, I think, a semester. And then I made my way back to Abilene.
Making my way to.
Okay. I want to stop you real quick though. Your show's called Fort Worth Roots.
Listen, I
So,
will
hey,
end you, Tim. I will end you. The show started in Fort Worth. the show
so that's what we wanted
has
to know.
Fort Worth
Okay.
Roots.
We wanted to know that. So
When did you start in Fort
I've,
Worth?
I've been in Fort Worth for 12 years.
Nice,
And,
okay.
So once I took a position out here at NAS JRB Carswell, it was time to start moving this direction. So I moved
Yeah.
here for military purposes. At that time, I'd gotten out of active duty and I was a reservist at that point. But it was enough reason to get out here, and I've stayed for 12 years.
you
which
set
is-
your roots. Is that what something you would
There
say?
you go.
You set your roots here in Fort Worth 12 years ago?
Tim with his bullshit.
look, I just wanted to I wanted to call you out for it because I knew
Yeah.
I knew your
Yeah,
roots
yeah.
were not Fort Worth.
That's right.
They are
But
now.
they
though,
are
bud.
now.
That's right.
And that's what matters.
In
You
my
got
office-
here. You got here as fast as you
And
could.
my office, my new studio is rooted in your neighborhood.
It
Absolutely.
very much is.
Yeah,
It very much
it's
is.
funny because like, we grew up. All three of us grew up in River Oaks. You know what I mean?
I
And
used
so
to race a car down that street.
We all did.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was a
Shooting airsoft
perfect
guns
straightaway.
and being
talking-
stupid.
Are you talking about yell or meandering?
Meandering.
Yeah, meandering.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I tell you what, if you were to race a car down that street
Not
now,
anymore.
by the time you got to the end of it, and it's not that long, you wouldn't have a car, you'd have a pile of bolts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
you can't do it
Yeah,
anymore.
the roads are just garbage.
But back in the day, I was there's a few of us that had this we had this street we thought we were cool. Fast and Furious was out. Had this the
first one.
the street racing
the only one I've
crew,
seen.
and it was called STS, Slower Than Shit.
Ooh.
Slower Than Shit Racing.
you can't curse,
Yeah.
sir. Language.
So we had that for a little bit, and we used to race down Meandering. I used to fly past that building all the time. So
Yeah, it's funny seeing you set up in there. Like, I jumped on your episode a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, man, I had passed this building thousands of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy to kind of actually go in there and be able to do the podcast with you, man.
you've got a cool vision for it.
Yeah.
You do, and I can't wait till it comes into like the full picture for everybody.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff happens. Like, I'm super excited for that.
Well, you just kind of keep throwing stuff at the wall until something sticks. But I've got a few ideas for that space, and I hope it works out. And I think this is a perfect segue to talk about the thing that Chad almost gave away.
Do we want to talk about the elephant that's in the
Oh,
room?
the thing you bleeped?
the giraffe?
Yeah.
the giant giraffe.
I didn't
Peabody?
realize we couldn't talk about it.
I know it wasn't your fault. I know
But
and
it
you took
worked
it
out.
very
It was
hardly.
a
when I
nice little
snapped
teaser.
at you. Yeah, no, I loved it, and I actually made a standalone video about it.
No, I saw that. It was great.
Perfect little clip. So,
Okay, so tell us about this this giraffe or this elephant that you bought.
so Javier, I know you came in here in kind of a rush. You were embarrassed because you failed us and you were late.
I'm sorry.
Did you happen to see the massive object behind the fence just behind you?
Is there an erection back there? Oh, yeah, I knew about that. Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I didn't see it because I came this way, and I came around back.
What does it say, though, Javier?
It says studio.
No, it says more than that.
Mobile podcast studio.
Oh, I thought that was
on the
like a
side
French.
of a glorious truck.
You picked the worst person to.
Yeah, he can't
to talk
describe
about.
things.
Mobile podcast studio, Fort Worth Roots.
And what's it attached to?
Free candy. What? It's attached to a balloon. No, what is that?
It's
It's a truck, dude.
It's a giant truck.
It is a giant truck.
Yeah, he don't describe
It's
things.
a giant studio truck.
Yeah. So what are you gonna be doing with that, man?
So Fort Worth Roots, from the very beginning, the first episode, we were talking about having a mobile podcast studio so that we could go all around the country and interview people and do stuff. And I thought it was a pretty cool idea. And at the time, I had done like massive Google search. Like I'd spent time trying to figure out if anybody else had started doing this yet. And at the time, nobody had, whenever I was researching it.
Right.
And then I want to say around episode 5 or 6, Cody Halford from Abilene, Texas, found out that we were beaten by Steve-O
Yeah.
Oh, really?
from
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve-O's got his
Wild
mobile
Ride,
podcast.
or his Wild Ride
Yep,
podcast.
So
Okay.
that took a little fire out of myself. I wasn't going to be the first, but
I mean, it's Steve-O, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole nother thing.
He's
It's
got
fine.
money.
Yeah.
this thing on wheels is about the size of some people's house.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a
yeah.
big truck, dude. Like, that is ginormous.
So we might not be the first, but as Bency Jones said at the Amplify hype video
Yes.
you guys made, we're just going to destroy the competition.
Yeah.
If I take this any higher, people will be injured or possibly die.
Yes.
That was a weird thing,
That
but
was
yes.
a weird thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Last night I was thinking about like, what have I missed? What should I have been doing to better prepare for this? And I should have gotten a hold of Bency Jones and been like, hey man, I want you to come out here and tell people you're going to win this event too. That would have been so much
That
fun.
would have been good. That would have been good.
Yeah.
But
Little
Betsy,
late.
you're not performing.
So, when are we going to
Doesn't
see...
matter. I always bring it.
That was good.
When are we going to see an actual podcast out of this truck? Like, what's next?
I mean, we could take the stuff in there right now and do it, right?
Oh, we could.
It would be
It'd be
uncomfortable.
hot. There's no power.
Oh,
I haven't done anything to the inside of this vehicle yet.
Okay.
Now I do have the technology. We have the means, folks. I've got a standalone AC unit. I've got a power generator. I've got
Yeah.
everything I need. We could actually do a podcast in there, but I want to make sure that it's a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
So,
Yeah, makes sense.
Tim has offered up his services.
Yeah, I want to help with this. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh, I was talking about the other thing.
That
yeah,
too.
but Tim's also going to help
We're
with
gonna-
the build out.
Did you get the
so-
black pleather couch to put in there?
The casting couch is
Yes.
the first purchase. It'll be
Perfect.
going in soon.
Perfect. Then we're
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's all we need.
I will be there always.
Do we have to do a podcast to hang out on the casting couch? Is that... no?
First of all, they're going to have to see. They
way.
just can't go from off a pretty face.
Right.
They're going to have to see you work with a talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And today, Andrew's that talent.
Yeah, we got to see what you got on
So
this
first
casting
thing, I'm
couch.
going to want you to speak into this mic.
By the way, you're not getting paid for this.
I got this goes to many producers out in the Fort Worth area.
Oh man, this took
All
a
right.
turn.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
anyways, yes.
stopping. So why the Fort Worth Roots? Why is that what you named your phenomenal podcast?
So I was going back and forth, and I don't know where Cody ran off to, but I shared the list with him, and I was talking to him about the different ideas, the different names that I had for the podcast, and all of them were just absolute dog shit.
Oh.
And so finally, I okay, what am I actually trying to do here?
Yeah.
And who are the people that I want to have on the show? And after a little bit of time contemplating that finally came up with Fort Worth Roots. And I
Hey.
think I definitely wanted to have Fort Worth in the name.
Right.
And that's the base of it.
You wanted the best people on your podcast.
Absolute.
You've had phenomenal guests,
I
man.
wanted an
Yeah.
illustrious
Nothing but illustrious
catalog
guests.
of amazing people.
Yeah, until this particular episode, you've had really great episodes.
Well, speaking of subpar guests, Tim, Javi, why won't y'all be on my show?
I will be just.
I'm ready to. You just got to give me the date.
I've
man.
never gotten an invite.
I've been sending you
No,
invites.
you
I've been
haven't.
texting you, sir.
No, you where?
Hey, let's put pen to paper. Let's pick a date.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And that's, after this is over,
Yeah.
I can think again, but I have not been able to think straight for 3 months putting this thing together.
I believe
I
it.
completely understand.
So let's take a step back. Why did you want to start a podcast even before that? Like you said, why you picked Fort Worth Roots, but why even a podcast?
So every time somebody asks me that question, I always tell them that the podcast scene is something I wanted to get involved in because I was devouring hours and hours of content, listening to other people's podcasts, and then I'd get pissed off when I'd run out of episodes to listen to.
Right.
So I was like, well, the shows that I'm listening to, I like them because of the guests that they have on, the people, the interesting folks that they talk to.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can go find my own guests. I don't need to wait till next week for somebody else to put out an episode.
Absolutely.
I'll go make my own. So, and that's the truth. and
So
that's
really,
the
you just
standard.
made your own to listen to yourself? Is that what I'm hearing?
You turn that. It's supposed to be about the guests.
Anything they could do, I could do better.
He's like, I ran out of content to listen to, so I'm just going to make my own to listen to.
But before that, I'd had my own business. I'd had 2 businesses. And both of them were okay. One of them was a terrific failure, but the other one was okay. And anyway, I decided I wanted to do something where I could start from a position of, I want to do this.
Right.
My last 2 businesses, I did not want to do this. So whenever I thought, what do I want to do? This is it. So even if I don't make $1 off of this, I'm always happy doing it. That's the honest to God truth.
Yeah, I will say same. Like we are not in this for the money.
Oh,
Obviously.
you're in it
There's-
for the fame.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
come
you
on.
are.
You want to be famous. You just
I
want
like
to
when
get
people know my
recognized.
face. You know
Or
what I mean?
Chad's word, infamy. I'm in it for infamy, but I don't know what the word means.
Yeah, now I know that just means I'm going to murder someone and then be famous for it. No, I just want to be known. You know what I mean? Like not in a murderer way, but like in a podcast
God
way.
dog it, Chad.
No, but I get what you're saying though. It's just fun to do. It's really fun to make these connections and meet people. Like I just look around us right now and it's phenomenal again just to see how many people you put together for this event. You know what I mean? And you mentioned, as humble as you always are, it's like, oh, they're the ones doing the work, but you're the one that got everyone together, which is just a really cool deal.
Let me
man.
squeeze this in there just in case anybody goes back and listens to this episode like, oh, I was at that event that they did this episode at. Thank you so much for being a part of this. There is absolutely no way that one person could ever accomplish this much. Scott was a huge piece of this. I had gone to several and this is hope Scott's okay with this. I had gone to several other venues before asking them like, hey, can we do this? And I got the door shut in my face several times. And or they wanted an absurd amount of money for me to put something on like this, right? Like a venue fee or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but Scott was more than happy to host this thing. And you can see everything that you got out here today is a result of Scott's hard work and Mickey Wendell from the Artful Village. All these vendors that showed up with their awesome handmade local arts and crafts and whatnot, they're here because Mickey Wendell has spent years building a reputation for herself and making sure that she takes care of these vendors whenever they show up to a show. So they didn't come out here for Fort Worth roots. They didn't come out here for any other reason than Mickey Wendell told them this was going to be worth their time.
Right.
So, now, sincerely, this had very, very little to do with me, except I asked the right people to help. That's why this was such a success.
And you had the idea, you had a vision, and there's a lot to be said about that too. You know what I mean? Like you want to showcase. At least something I've noticed with your show that's very, very different than ours. Like you make it a point to showcase what we've got, and you know we like interviewing people and we like having people on the show. But honestly, it's selfish. Like we just want to meet people and like get to know them and things like that. But you're like making all sorts of connections out here, like putting people together, and it's always just beautiful to see that kind of put together. And that's kind of your whole deal. I mean, like here you are talking about our show being best of, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like you've got this podcast and you're doing things, and you're always just promoting others, and so everyone appreciates it. I hope you realize that. We definitely appreciate you and everything that you do for sure.
Well, thank y'all for coming out and doing this. I know it was pulling teeth to get Javi here, but you all made it. You all made it. I love you for it. I love you.
Let's talk about this 100th episode. When you started, did you think that you would make it this far?
Oh yeah. No, when
Like you knew, like I'm gonna make it to 100.
No, the only thing that could have stopped me was death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many tried.
It almost happened multiple times.
Death or prison. Because when I set myself on a task, I always complete it. Not necessarily to standard, but it always gets done. And maybe not in the same timeline either. But
So you do the whole thing. You complete the whole task. You don't just go to what someone told you like I do.
What do you mean?
Well, like plugging that thing in. You said, like, let's see if that fits. So I plug it in, and I don't plug in the actual.
Oh yeah. That
Like,
was a fun moment too.
Yeah, you
'cause
just tell me exactly what you want done, and I'm going to do it to that point.
because I knew you were in the military, and I was an E5, and I was in charge of people that you had to micromanage them. You had to make sure that you told them take your left foot and put it out there, then put your right foot. You had to step by step give them instructions.
Yeah.
And so whenever I found that power cord laying there, I looked at Tim
Not
and
plugged
I
into
went,
power.
"Didn't make it past E4, did you?"
Oh,
Which
no.
it is a real special burn for anybody that's in the service.
Yeah.
They understand.
E3. I was an E3.
Thank you for your service, Tim.
Oh, thank you.
You're a credit to our country.
It was a very short period of time in my life after getting hurt, and it was just one of those deals. But yeah, I did. E3 was as far as I was allowed to go.
Yeah.
So.
But just like you guys at the 100th episode for the Funky Panther, wishing you guys 100 more, and I'm actually hoping you guys do 1,000 more because there's only one thing stopping me, and that's death or prison, and I hope that's the same for you guys.
Oh man, I don't know. We're on the verge of breaking up every week.
Well, or murdering each other.
Or
so
murdering
same.
each
Death,
other.
prison. I mean, same.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you a question, but actually I think I want to ask after this event because it hadn't even kicked off yet.
No, it hasn't.
It is already packed, and we were 1 minute till it actually
No, I think you should
begins.
go ahead and ask it.
Got some of our best
Okay.
homies here right now, just enjoying before the festivity
Yeah,
gets kicked
I
off.
mean, it's
but,
already
yeah.
a thing.
They
and
want
it's
to.
hard
The people
started.
already here want to hear what you're going to ask.
Is this what you expected? Is this what you
You
wanted?
were going to ask that question.
Then why did you say?
I thought you were going to ask a different one.
Well, let him ask that one. then.
Okay.
Is this so far, this vision, everything that is put in this, pouring glory lot with all these vendors and musicians stuff, is this what you intended? Is this your vision?
This is so much further than what we had originally anticipated. It's beautiful out here. I mean,
Yeah.
with the canopies and the umbrellas set up, and all of our friends that made it. And I'm getting the time to start buzzer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh,
getting
it's-
packed,
it's-
and
it's
it's not even
started.
time to start.
Well,
it is now.
what Darren's trying to say is this is already awesome, and we haven't even started.
Right.
That's what he's trying to. But I could never have anticipated that it was already going to be this awesome.
Yeah,
So-
man, well done. So I guess I don't know if we have any more questions other than like, what's next? What's next for you? You mentioned the mobile truck. We obviously know about the little studio you might or might not be putting together. But like, what's next for the Fort Worth Roots?
Just now it's time to perfect what I've got in front of me. I've got the brick and mortar location that needs to be finished out, and that needs to be perfected. I've got the mobile podcast studio. I've got a lot of vision for that. So we're not at a standstill, but we're kind of at the starting point.
Yeah.
The 100th episode for me is kind of, we're on the blocks. We're ready to go now.
You're solidifying that you've made it this far. Like, you're real. You're doing things,
Yeah.
right? And next is like just taking it further.
It's
right?
a big moment for any podcaster, right?
Yeah.
You guys know that. 100
Yeah,
episodes, it legitimizes what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally put in blood, sweat, and tears.
I haven't cut
It-
myself yet.
Well, we'll see. They
But
still
you
young.
cried a lot. I've seen it.
I've had some questionable
Yeah.
bowel movements.
Haven't we all?
But yeah, you put in that first 100, and then it's next thing you know you're at 200, and then next thing you know you're at
Jerry Jonestown Massacre, and you got 4,000 episodes.
9 years later in
Yeah.
the temple.
We could only be so. We could
You
be so
gotta-
lucky. We could only be so lucky to
Yeah,
have.
9 years later, you got a bunch of random dudes just barging
Breaking
in
down the
and,
door.
yeah.
And
Now, I had this thought the other day. I don't know if you guys thought about this too, but like, we're never going to be the longest going podcast until something just very tragic happens with Dustin.
Please don't. Here tonight.
Oh, right here? Oh, no.
this is where it ends, people.
Well, then who would take it after that? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
All right. Well, shit. We are.
We're at one- we're a little
after
after
one,
one, yeah.
so it's time to start doing things. I got my co-host here, the Funky Panther, and I'm just gonna make them run it now. I'm gonna walk around and act like I am some kind of important person.
Oh, you
This
are
is
my
your
dude.
party,
This
buddy.
is
Make
your
y'all
day.
do all the work now.
I'm good for it, man. Thank you so much for having us on, and thank you for letting us interview you. This has been a phenomenal experience being able to be on your show again, and with the whole crew. This
Yeah.
is fantastic. I love it.
It's good.
Thank you.
It's
I
good.
got one more thing I want to say before we go.
Okay.
Okay.
This whole thing right here is supposed to be, and the reason that I've got 10 awards here to give out today for local podcasters, and the reason that I've got the Funky Panther here co-hosting for me, is I am trying to bring us all together, because there's a lot that we can do, and I've got some crazy ideas for how we can work together. And I want to make sure that when I say that, people understand I am not talking about one of those sleazy podcast networks. I am not trying to put my foot in the door.
You're talking about a pyramid scheme, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about a multi-level marketing business. What I'm talking about is real community and getting people the information they need in order to be successful and working together just as a community, not as a team or a network or any of those other stupid words, but as a community of people that just like working together.
Yeah.
And you guys, you know, I hope I'm not burning any bridges by really kissing up to you guys. It's just that I love you so much, and y'all are my favorite podcast in the Fort Worth area, so I don't want to burn any bridges, but the reason I like working with you guys is because you show up. You show up and you put out, and that's what's important to me.
Yes, we do.
So.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But we just love to help. I mean, like, we know when we started this thing, we only knew of the Jerry Jonestown Massacre, and that was it. Because we did research before we did this.
Right.
And for everything to come up and happen the way it has, and for you to be as talented as you are and to do the work that you've done and put in, it's huge for the podcasting community here in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what you do next, and I can't wait to see the next, like you said with ours, the next 100 or the next 1,000.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and don't put it on my shoulders. We all got to kind of
Absolutely.
build this community together. You know, we can give Live Nation a run for its money in the Fort Worth area. You know,
Agreed.
if we got big enough, we could be the promoting factor that tells people about things inside our city. But we got to be able to work together and build up our own community.
Absolutely, man. I'm here for it.
And
Oh,
look who just
dang.
walked out.
Who is that right there?
That's
Chad, who is that?
That's Chad's
That's
mama.
Miss Chad right there.
My mom's here.
Thank
Everyone,
you
I gotta
for being
go.
here.
The one and
I gotta
only
go.
camel riding machine.
This was fun.
All right, folks, it's time to kick off the 100th episode party at Pouring Glory. Thank y'all for being the co-host for this event.
Thanks for having us on,
Yeah,
bro.
thank you for having
And
us.
let's get out of here. And can we do this again?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
Always a ton of fun hanging out with Chad, Tim, and Javier. Listen, any of the hostility that you might have heard during this episode is all in fun. I love these guys. They are the best. If you have not gone over to the Funky Panther and checked out their show yet, you can find them on all the streaming services. You can also catch them at their website, thefunkypanther.com. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on the TikTok, I think. I don't know. Just go follow them. Support these guys. They're awesome. And I think I said it in this episode. I'm positive I did. I wanted them to win the Best of Fort Worth 2022. I'd been pulling for that real hard. But I'm glad that since they didn't win, our other homie got it. And they deserve it just as much as anybody else. Or more. Because they've been around for 9 damn years. Go check out the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. You're going to laugh until you start to bleed from your eyeballs. They're hilarious. And I've been on their show twice, so obviously I'm a fan. But these dudes were part of the inspiration for the Funky Panther and the Fort Worth Roots, showing out that, we can do it too. We can have our own podcast here in this amazing city. There's so much to be covered. There's so much fun to be had. And it started with them 9 years ago. So shout out to Dustin and Mr. Stubbs at the Jerry Jonestown Massacre. Thank you guys for everything that you do, and congratulations on Best of Fort Worth, what is it? The Fort Worth Weekly Best of 2022. You guys are the bomb. Thank you. Okay, what else? We talked about the Funky Panther. You know where to go. You know how to support them. We're going to keep doing fun stuff like this. We're going to have events as often as possible. We are looking for sponsorship. They're looking for sponsorship. Jerry Jonestown Massacre is looking for sponsorship. And the Fort Worth Roots is looking for sponsorship. We are not hard to find. Just Google our name and we pop up everywhere. But we're always looking for sponsorship. And the Fort Worth Roots podcast does have a Patreon account, and we have options as little as $4 a month. That's less than a beer on 7th Street. If you like what we're doing, if you love the Fort Worth Roots podcast, if you like the podcast scene here in Fort Worth, consider supporting us through Patreon. Our sponsors, Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk. You can go to roofingsolutionshouk.com. That's H-O-U-K. Their phone number is 817-882-6520. I'm always harassing you about getting one of these roofing inspections. Are you ever going to do it? You need to. The reason that you do this is the caulking around the pipes and the vents that stick out of your roof, they break down in that hardcore Texas heat. And you got to have it redone. That's what the roofing tune-up is all about. They will come out, they will fix up anything that needs to be fixed as far as the caulking and stuff like that, light stuff, right? And if they find anything more severe, they're going to let you know. They're not going to just go to work on it and send you an invoice. They don't do anything without your approval. And the reason that you want to use Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk is not just because he is the sponsor of the Fort Worth Weekly's Critic Choice for Best Podcast 2022. That's not it. You can go online and you can see all the accolades about Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk. He's winning awards all the time for excelling in customer service and quality of craftsmanship. You're not going to find a better solution. You might find somebody out there that's also a great roofer. You're not going to find a better one. I'll put my name next to that. Give him a call, 817-882-6520. And whenever you call him and tell him you heard about him on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, he's going to give you 50% off that already low-priced roofing tune-up. Don't put it off. I know. I'll do it later. And then you never do. Listen, the sooner you do something like this, the better it is. If you need some kind of light maintenance up there, it could save you thousands and thousands of dollars later down the road. So don't put it off. Just do it now. Come on. I know you're busy. 817-882-6520. Woodpostmetalworks.com. You can go to woodpostmetalworks.com, enter podcast 817 at the very end whenever you're going to check out, and they will give you 10% off your purchase. Well, what do? What am I purchasing? They have a industrial plasma cutter. They can make anything, light steel fabrication. I've seen them do a lot of signs for businesses lately. You want some hardcore, heavy-duty yard art, or you have a gate that you want customized, or anything you can think of. These people can help you with that. Again, that's woodpostmetalworks.com. And remember to use podcast 817 at checkout to get that 10% off. Houk Walker Originals. These folks made those badass tumblers that had our logo on it. It was really cool. We have a video of them doing the laser etching process. This is the kind of stuff that they excel at. They also have custom gift ideas. On the website, you're going to find custom wood bowls and custom pins. Really, really authentically awesome stuff. Check it out. Do those words work together? Authentically awesome? Whatever, man. Go check this out. You're going to wish that you had have done it sooner. HoukWalkerOriginals.com. That's not right. HoukWalker.com. And thank you to our sponsors for supporting the Fort Worth Roots podcast. As a side note, this is not a sponsor of the show. They might do it next season, maybe, if you'll give them a call this year. It's that time of year. We're getting close to having to get up on our dangerous roofs and put up ridiculous Christmas lights, risking our health and our safety just to make the kids happy, make the wife stop begging us to put the lights up on the house. That's the only reason we do it, right? I think. I don't know. I don't care if there's Christmas lights on the house. I really don't. But everybody else really wants those Christmas lights up on the house. And wouldn't you know it, I'm the only one that can do the job. Well, I'm older now. I don't want to get up on that roof. So I'm going to pay somebody to do it. Why? Because I don't want to fall off the roof. I don't want the guy installing it to fall off the roof either. But I trust a professional more than I trust myself to do this kind of thing. And I got a buddy. Call Adam Statham. He is a Christmas light installation expert. He does it for commercial and residential. You can reach him at 325-232-4183. Don't let that 325 number throw you off either. He's a local guy. He lives here, works here, plays here. They charge by the foot. It's easy for him to give you an estimate, and he does quality work. Again, that's Christmas Light Installation by Adam Statham, 325-232-4183. I think these copies of the Fort Worth Weekly are going to be gone pretty soon if they're not already. I grabbed a couple too because I had people like, oh, grab me a copy. I'm going to put it in a picture frame. Anyway, so they're going quick. Fort Worth Weekly, fwweekly.com is where you can go. You do not have to have a physical copy of this paper, folks. You can go online. because it's the year 2022. But the paper is cool. If you get a chance, grab a copy. That's what they're there for. And Johnny Govea, the gentleman that was asking me questions before I got the Critics' Choice Award, really good dude. He's been on the show. I cannot remember what episode. I should have written that down. But he has been on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and you might hear me call him Johnny or Juan. It's the same dude, same awesome dude. He goes by both names. I don't really know which one to call him. I'm going to have to ask him next time I see him, like, which one do you prefer? Because I'm having trouble deciding. But you can find him at One2Know on Instagram, and he is an incredible photographer. He's got some great stuff out there that you need to go check out. Go show One2Know on Instagram a little bit of love. All right, I think that's it. I probably forgot something, but that's how we do things here. We forget stuff. Anyway, one more big shout out to the boys at the Funky Panther boys. Chad, Tim, Javier, thank you guys so much for doing this with me. It was an absolute honor to have you guys there supporting me both as a friend and as a fellow podcaster. So awesome stuff. I love you dudes. And anytime y'all need help with anything, you already know this, but you can hit me up. And you can hit me up, the listener. And you can hit me up, the listener, my friends, media@fortworthroots.com. Well, why would you want to contact me? I don't know. But if you did, that's the best way to get a hold of me. We got a phone number, too, but it's need to set up the voicemail. And pretty soon we'll start doing that thing where you can call in and leave a message, and I'll play it on the show. But you can also do that through the email, media@fortworthroots.com. Leave me an MP3-style voicemail and email it to me, and I'll play it on the show. That'd be cool. I'd like it a lot. Last thing, and then we'll get out of here. If you didn't catch it in the episode, or if you just were not paying attention at all, we do have a brick and mortar location now here just outside of downtown Fort Worth that we're setting up, and we're going to do really cool stuff. And I'm asking for people to give me their input too. So anyway, we're going to do something really badass with this space, and I'm going to be inviting bands out here to practice and do recordings and all that fun stuff. Also setting up a podcast area for other podcasters so they can come out here and do the thing. And if they need a little help, need some support, I'm here for them. If they just need the space, I can stay out of the way. And then we're going to set up an audio booth for authors that want to do audiobooks. And, maybe somebody wants to record some vocals for a track or some guitar, whatever. We're going to have a solution for that, so that's going to be cool. And we've got the mobile podcast studio now. We don't really have a mobile podcast studio yet. We got a big damn truck, and we're going to be building this thing out. Bear with me on this. This is some exciting stuff that we've been talking about since episode 1, and it's just going to take a little bit of time to finish out. But whenever we get done, my God, it's going to be so cool. And it's already badass. I love the direction the show's going. I'm really looking forward to see what could possibly develop over the next 100 episodes. Where's this thing going to take us? We've made so many incredible friends. We've connected with so many powerful artists. And I'm just really excited to see what happens next. But I'm glad you were here. You're one of the OGs. You knew about Fort Worth Roots before it was internationally known. Look at you. That's amazing. And I'd like to invite every single one of you listening to this podcast right now. Let me know where you're at and how you found out about the show. This is something I'm really curious about. We have listeners in India, the Philippines, Australia. We've had some in Korea, Brazil, Canada, and all over the United States, except for Kansas. I don't think anybody in Kansas has ever listened to this show. Are there actually any people in Kansas? I don't know. If a tree falls in the forest and you're not there, does it make a sound? All right, I'm babbling again. Thank y'all for being here. I love you, and we will see you next week.